What's going on, everyone? It is Paul, the 920 Trader with 920 Trading and Trading Dakota. Today is Thursday, May 23rd, 2024, and this is how we traded SPY today. But before we do that, if you like our videos, please go ahead and like and subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you can be notified when we drop new content, which is just about every day and sometimes on the weekends. When we do it on the weekends, folks, it's either strategy or it is trading psychology. Both of those things are really, really good subjects. But hey, also don't forget to leave us a comment. We would greatly appreciate the comments and share, because remember, folks, sharing is caring. So let's get to the charts. So we had this NVDA it ran up like mad yesterday. And I don't know if you folks saw what NVDA did yesterday. It was madness. It was absolutely madness. So, we had after hours run up. We had a pre-market run up. It ran all the way to $534 up here, folks, right up here. So we got a high of 534. We've got a pre-market low of 531.58. So right out of the gate, I'm thinking 250, folks. 250 is amazing. We can take that now. You can see a whole bunch of pivot points in here, folks, because I wanted some intermediate targets, and I didn't have anything because, again, we're trading at all-time highs. And when you're trading at all-time highs, again, you have no historical perspective. So what I was looking to do, folks, and we actually did it in pre-market. We took out that 434, and then it just started dumping. So I kind of expected us, when we opened this morning, to run back up to that 434 so I could go short off of that area. But look what it did, folks. Look at what it did. And oh my goodness, it just dropped and it dropped and it dropped and it just kept on going. It kept on going and it kept on going. Thin volume above, and it kept, look at this. And I told the group, I said, guys, I'm waiting for one of my major levels, or I'm waiting for a fresh cross, and I twiddled my thumbs. Watching this thing go without me, and I hated it. And I told the group, I said, folks, from an emotional standpoint, I really, really, really want to get into this trade. I really want to get into this trade. But from a logical standpoint, I can't. From a discipline standpoint, I can't. Only because the cross happened. Folks, my cross happened in pre-market. So when I get that pre-market cross, I'm waiting. I am waiting, and I didn't take this trade. And again, it was all about, number one, this cost me countless. It doesn't matter. I didn't execute. I didn't do that only because it wasn't part of my plan to chase, folks. That's not part of my plan. So I have to have a specific reason. And that reason, it can be, we can test that 20 up there. We can do something like that, like we did here. And we finally tested that 20, recaptured the 9. I took the trade, and what happened? Whammo. Ended up in a loss. So really first, and this is the gap. We came down and filled the gap. Folks, this was a massive drop. This was absolutely massive. But again, I didn't have a reason for getting into the trade. I could have used one of these pivot points. I could have said, okay, we're below this pivot point. But again, I had to be disciplined. And there are times where, I don't know how to put this, but there are times where you never hate yourself. You always have to appreciate yourself for being disciplined and following your plan. But there are times where you're always kind of rewarded for it, because you understand in the back of your head that, it's the good thing, and it's the right thing. It's the best thing to do. But heck, I miss a massive drop. But again, folks, it's there every day. So I took this first trade right out of the gate. We tested this 20, came back down, took a losing trade. Again, we got across to the downside, waited for that first red candle. I was being I should have been very aggressive on this. I should have taken a fishtail play. Would have been a really, really good play back to the downside. But again, I was just trying to be a little bit conservative. I shouldn't have been. I should have been aggressive, taking this back down to where we were below. Again, I didn't. So I ended up with these first 2 losses. Folks, these are big losses. These are really big losses. So 75 up to 48. These are good size losses, okay? And it wasn't, I had my predefined risk way up here. Probably it was up here on this candle. This is the 20. So we breached it back to the upside, and I had to get out of the trade. Yes, it would have at least got me close to zero back to the other side, but I had to close out the trade. I couldn't hold and hope in that trade, folks. I just couldn't do it. But again, took this trade back down here, ended up on the losing side, and this next trade down, I said, okay, I'm going to take this fishtail because we did it over here. I took this fishtail back down. We had this gap. As soon as we punched this gap to the downside, guess what? Took it off the table. I could have ridden this, but at the same time, we stopped at this gap. So we got the stop gap right here, stop gap. We stopped at the gap right here. So at this time, I wanted to be responsible in this trade and take it off right here and put something on the board. And so, the result of that was, it was good. It was a good result, but still down on the day, folks. Absolutely still down. Now, during this time, I went to lunch in here because, I was really, really hungry. And I thought, hey, let's go get something to eat. So I'm at 2 losses and 1 win. I'm red for the day. So at this point, I thought, okay, we're making kind of a higher low. We're made a higher high over here. We had thin volume up here. So I took this trade up in here again, waited for that cross to the upside, first green candle. Again, this was a conservative play back to the upside. I should have waited for puts because, again, guess what happened? That's a loss. So I'm 1 and 3 on the day, and I am very, I'm red. I'm really red at this point because, again, these pullbacks really, really hurt. So, again, took this play back to the downside. We got below that level, so we crossed to the downside, red candle, boom, took it down to the gap. I took it down to the gap again, and what did it do? It just kept going and going and going. I missed this trade in here right off the gap. But on this next cross to the downside, I'm pretty close to the cross to the downside. There it was. This is my best trade of the day. This got me back on the good side, folks. It did. It was hard getting back to the good side today because I was good and red. But folks, if you look at this, just look at this. I mean, once we took out VWAP, I mean, look at this. It just ran. Look at this thing just go and go. You look at the 5-minute candles. Look at a 5-minute. Look at this thing. Just look at how sweet this is on the 5-minute, folks. You get in, look at a really good entry in here. You could have ridden this thing all day long down to this pivot point down here. Would have been a glorious trade, but I think I had, 3 trades in there, something like that. But anyway, just look at this thing. It just kept going and going and going and going. End of day, I'm looking for something at 350, and I'm thinking, after you have such a big day like that, there's really no expectation of it doing anything after hours. So I just kind of sat on it after hours and said, you know what? I'm okay. I salvaged a good day out of something that started. And a good part of the day was a really, really bad day. I feel like I executed all right. Probably not my best day for execution. I can always get better, and I'm always trying to get better. Missed some plays, missed that play early. But again, folks, I needed a fresh cross. I mean, that's my thing. I needed a fresh cross. Now, I could have made the argument, looking back on it, well, I was below that pivot point right there. Yes, you're below that pivot point right there. You're below pre-market low. You've got that thin volume. Below all of these levels, you can make that argument. But for me, folks, I have to be disciplined in my approach. And my discipline says, unless you get a fresh cross, unless certain conditions are met, you can't put on a trade. And again, I missed out on a lot, but nevertheless, my discipline was intact. And I take great pride. I always try to be very, very disciplined. And again, I take great pride in that. But I think, overall, it was a beautiful day, folks. I mean, look at these moves. We don't get these moves. This biggest move back to the downside we've had in a long time. Like what, $8, $9? That's massive. That is absolutely massive. We don't get those days very often, folks. And when we do, we have to take advantage of them. But that's how she played out today, folks. That's how we did it today. Now, if you like our videos, please go ahead and give us a like and a subscribe. Don't forget to turn on your notifications. That way you can be notified when we drop new content. Also, leave us a comment. We would greatly appreciate that. And share with your friends and your trading community. Spread the word, folks. Spread the word. Yes, we would appreciate that. Now, if you are interested in live daily trading, where the good news is, even though I wasn't in this trade, I was talking people through this trade. You know, it's the same thing. If you are in this trade right now, this is what you're looking for. This is what you're looking for. This is where you could potentially pull back to. But these are the targets that you're looking for. But again, for me, I was not in the trade, much to my chagrin. But again, I maintained my discipline today. And again, I say that much to my chagrin. But if you're interested in live daily trading, head on over to our live trading Discord. It's called Trading Decoded. The link for that is down below, folks. The link is down below. We do this every single day, folks. So every single day from 9 o'clock Eastern until the closing bell. We're here every single day, folks. Now, if you're interested in the 920 crossover strategy, head on over to 920trading.com. All of the entire strategy is right there, folks. So go check it out. 920trading.com. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars on something that you don't know is going to work for you. So head on over. The only thing that's going to take is a little bit of your precious time. But yes, also sign up for our newsletter. Newsletter comes out every Saturday. Excuse me. But that's how we did today, folks. I truly hope everybody had a good day today, folks. We're going to do it again tomorrow. So we're going to trade tomorrow. We might have an update video. I might take, the next couple of days off. I don't know. We'll see how it goes tomorrow. But that's how we did today, folks. And again, thank you for spending some of your precious time with us. We certainly appreciate it. And we will see you in the markets.